And one more thing, as I mentioned in the syllabus first day, I have mentioned that if time permits, I'll give you pop-up quizzes. I mean, bonus questions. Do you remember that pop-up quizzes? Okay, so I think I have enough time. So not today. This week, maybe if Wednesday or Friday, I'll give you the first quiz. It's gonna be a very simple question. Don't worry about that. Okay. And also, I'll figure it out how you send me the answers, like Google form, something like that. Okay, I'll let you know that maybe Wednesday or Friday. Yes. Yes, exactly. I'll give you like 5 or 10 minutes. It's gonna be a very simple question. Don't worry. Something like I'm going to teach at that day, or maybe very simple one, like find the mean, something like that. Okay, very simple one. So don't worry about the quiz. The thing is, you have to submit it like using Google form or something. I'll let you know that. Okay. Each quiz worth of 1 point. So I'll try to give you 5 quizzes at the end of the semester so that you can collect 5 points. Okay. Right. Any questions? Okay. Now I'm going to start the chapter 7. So we will be having chapter 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. 7 is a small chapter, but 8, 9, maybe 10, those are very huge sections, especially 8 and 9. Okay, it's a big deal. So I'll try to go like a little bit faster for this chapter. Okay, in this chapter, we have to discuss about mean of the sample mean. It is something like this. You already know, since we cannot deal with population directly, we simply pick samples from the population and deal with that samples, right? It doesn't matter how many samples, how you consider the sample. Let me try to, okay. So, if you have a population like this, let's consider your population something like this. This is your population. Okay, population. So you can pick any number of samples from this population. It can be like this. Okay, once you consider mean of these samples, mean of each sample, let's say this one is number 1, number 2, 3, 4. Okay, in detail I will discuss with the slides, but I just need to give you a brief overview about what is this sample. I mean, mean of the sample means. Okay, so if you consider mean of number 1 means this sample, these circles and small boxes are samples. Okay, mean of the let's say mean of number 2. Likewise, if you consider here there are 4, so mean of 4. Mean of 4. So if you consider something like this, you will see means are different. Mean of 1, mean of 2, mean of 4, those samples, they are different. Okay. Why they are different? Because we are considering different observations. Okay, so sample 1, it can be 10 observations, but sample 2, it can be 100 observations. It happens. Okay, so if you consider these means one by one, we call it means of a sampling distribution of the sample mean. Why sampling distribution? Because these are samples 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so when we consider their means one by one, we can see a kind of some sort of a distribution. Okay, so we call it sampling distribution of what? Of means, sample means. Clear? Okay. Why do we need that? I'll explain that later. Okay. Right. So we are going to deal with sampling distribution of the sample means. So in general, we denote this sample mean by X bar, right? So now we are going to consider x bar, mean of x bars. Okay, so this means something like mean of x bars. Okay, so which means you will be having different samples. Let's say this guy, sample mean of this one x1 bar, this one x2 bar, dot dot, it's going to be xn bar. So now we are going to consider these x1 bar, x2 bar, x3 bar. Okay, right. The thing is why we use this kind of distributions of sampling, sampling distribution of sample mean. The reason is, you already know the reason, but let me explain it again. If I consider the population itself, okay, this is my population. If you consider this population itself, you can find the mean and standard deviation of the population. Okay, so let me call them mu and what? Sigma, right? Those are the population mean and population standard deviation, right? Now, if you consider, as I mentioned, if you get a sample, let's say this is sample number one, okay, this one. So it has a mean, okay, let's say x1 bar, and it has a sample standard deviation. Let me call it S1. Clear? So x bar is x bar and S mean sample parameters. Clear? Okay. Let me take another one, sample 2. And I call the sample mean is x2 bar and sample standard deviation is S2. So likewise, you can get many number of samples. The thing is, I told you at that time, population mean over population standard deviation and sample mean and sample standard deviation, they may not close to each other or they may not equal, right? Because in the sample, we are trying to approximate something, approximate the population mean and standard deviation, right? So population mean and standard deviation are the exact values, okay, exact values. But x1 bar and s2, x1 bar, s1, those things are approximations, okay. So when we are dealing with these samples, you can see the difference between let me consider just one sample, difference between and also I'll consider sample mean, okay, difference between mu and x1 bar. There is a difference, right? There is a difference. So this difference we call sampling error. There is an error because we consider samples. So that error we call sampling error. Okay. Okay. Believe me, we cannot avoid that error. We cannot avoid that error, but we can minimize that error. Okay, we cannot avoid it. I mean, we cannot totally remove that error, but we can minimize that error. To minimize that error, we use this sampling means of the sampling distribution. That's the purpose of this guy, mean of the sampling distributions. Okay, you will see in next few slides how we do it. Clear? So sampling error is the error resulting from using samples to estimate population parameters, as I mentioned. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about sampling distribution of the sample mean. Okay. Sampling distribution of the sample mean. Here I consider my variable is x. You know the distribution of variable x bar, y x bar, because it is the sample mean. Okay. So sampling distribution of the sample mean is the X bar here. In general, X bar. If you consider one particular sample, mean of that sample is X1 bar, something like that. Okay. So in general, the mean of these samples we call X bar. Okay. So it is the sample distribution of the sample means. Okay. Don't forget this. Of the sample means. Now we are not going to talk about observations. We are talking about sample means. It's very similar to previous case. Okay. But here sample means. Just consider this one. Here we have A, B, C, D, E. There are 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 observations. These are observations or what? Okay, these are, let's say, observations. That's fine. Observation, no samples. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. We have anyhow. We have 5 observations. Just now, since they are like this, I'm going to couple them like A and B. I'm going to consider A and B as a sample. These are samples. See, this one is one sample. This one is one sample. Likewise, how many? 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 samples. Those are the, if you consider probabilities, those are the pairs that I can, all the pairs that I can consider using this 5, right? AB, AC, all distinct pairs. Okay. Okay. These are the values. See, A is 76 here, 76. B, it is 78. It is 78. Okay. So these are the samples, just samples and their numbers. This is a one sample. If you consider or if you calculate the sample mean of this sample or mean of this sample, let me, so mean of A comma B sample. Clear? So the 77 mean of the A and B sample. You can simply calculate it. 76 plus 78 divided by 2. That's how we calculate the mean, right? So it's going to be 77, right? So one by one you can check. These are the samples and these are the corresponding sample means. Okay, clear? So these are the sample means. So this is the distribution of sample means. It's just the distribution, right? Like relative frequency distribution or frequency distribution. This is the distribution. Clear? Right. What is this one? They have mentioned that mean. Here, this mean means actual mean. This is my mu. Sorry about the notation. This is my mu. Why this is the actual mean? Because I have these 5 values. That's my population. So if I consider mean, how do you calculate the mean? Simply add these 5 together. I mean, add these 5 values, divide by 5. So value is 80. That is the actual mean. So let me call it again actual mean. This is the actual mean. So now you can see mean of each samples, they are different from the actual mean. Sometimes they are equal, that's fine. See, this value is pretty similar to actual mean. It doesn't matter. But all others are like very close, but they are different. Okay. Now can you see the difference? So this difference we call sample error. I mean, sample error happens because we consider the samples, right? See error. First one, just consider the first sample. It is 77. The mean of the first sample 77, but actual mean is 80. Okay. So it's kind of error. Okay, now how we deal with this kind of problems? We have this sample mean distribution of the sample means. Let me draw this, let me plot these values, these x bar values on a dot plot, okay, dot plot. This is what happened. N2 means like this one, I think, mean of the sample A and B, I guess this one, right? It should 77, right? See, 77. Next one is 77.5. See this one, AC. This belongs to A comma C, right? So these are the means, okay? Sample means of those samples. Those, this one, the third column value. Clear? There is nothing new. This is just plot the third column. Oh, sorry, here. That's it. Okay. Now, see, this is the actual value. We had a similar value here. See this one. So that's why there is a actual value on top of this. Okay. Okay. But this is the actual value, and these values are the x bar values. Now, I'm going to consider different n values. Simple n. I can consider n equal 1, n equal 2, like this, n equal 3, n equal 4, n equal 5. Can I consider n equal 6? Can I consider simple n equal 6? No. Why? There are only 5 values. So there are no n equal 6. So maximum I can consider n equal 5. So one by one, I'm going to plot this dot plot. Okay. These axes represents x bar values, not the observation values, x bar value. Okay, for example, consider first one. Okay, n equals 1. What is n equals 1 means? We consider these values one by one. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D, E. This is n equals 1. Right? N equals 1 means that sample has just one value. Okay, so one by one we can consider A, then B, then C, something like that. So those values are, see, you can see what is the A value? It is 76. See, this is 76. If you go down, you can see this is 76. This value. This is just A. This is B. This is C, D, and this is E. Clear? This is just sample, individual samples. Simply A, B, C, D. Right. Next one, n equals 2. So you saw n equal to dot plot. This one. This is n equal 2. Okay. So same here, same thing. N equals 2. Okay. This is for what? I think A and B. This sample. This is A and C sample. Right? Okay, let me write n equal to, I cannot write all of them, but I can write like few. A comma B, A comma C, A comma D, something like that. Okay, clear? Okay, let's move forward. N equals 3. N equals 3. N equals 3 means 3 samples at a time, or 3 observations at a time. Okay. Let's say ABC, then ABD, and the other one is ABE, DE. Okay. Again, BCD. There are many, right? So I can write them all. There are many. Like how many? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 again. Okay. So I'm not going to write everything, but it is something like this. So once you consider the mean of this guy, mean of this sample, you will see a value in here. I don't know the exact value, but you can find the value represented in this dot plot. Okay, clear? Now n equals 4, n equals 4, which means you have to consider 4 samples at a time, 4 samples or 4 observations, doesn't matter. A, B, C, D. It's just a one sample. Next, A, B, C, E. It's going to be few, I guess 5. Yes. Then B, C, D, E. That's it for this one. Next one. C, D. No, it is 3, right? Just 4. A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D. Then A, B, C, E. A, C, E, B. There is another one. A, C, E, D. Sorry, A, C, D, E. Right? Next, B, C, D, E. There should be another one. C, D, E, A. C, D, E, A. C, D. What is the other one? There are 5, right? There should be 5. I'm thinking, what is the other one? There should be unique. I mean, there should be ABD. Yes, ABD. Thank you. ABD. This one. See, they are unique. Okay. Clear? So based on these samples, you can see their means. So these green color dots are mean values. Okay. If you consider all 5, which means this one right here. If you consider all 5, value is this one. All 5 together, A, B, C, D, E. Sorry. So value is definitely 80 because you calculated it. Okay. So this is the actual mean, right? This is the actual mean. So if I draw a hypothetical line along, about this along this AD, you can see how these values are distributed, right? Let me start from the first one. If you start from the first one and go down one by one, you will see those values are like what? They are converging. They are converging to 80, right? That distribution, first one is something like this, second one something like this, third one this, fourth one, and fifth is just a value, right? So the idea behind this one is when we increase the sample size, our distribution error, it goes down. Our distribution error goes down, right? In this case, we can totally, we can fully eliminate the standard error because we have just 5 samples. But if we have more, we cannot eliminate that one. Entire error we cannot eliminate, but we can simply reduce the error. So idea behind this is, let me say, idea behind this is, if you increase, this mean increase the sample size, then what happened? Sampling error or sample error, let's say sample error, no, sampling error, let's use that word because it's there. Sampling error goes down. Okay, This is the relation, and this is how we simply prove this. Here it's not just a mathematical proof, just simply you can see what is going on here. Clear? Okay, so thing is, if you consider a large sample, then the error, like, you can minimize the error. There are some calculations to find what is the number of samples I should take that minimize the sampling error. There are calculations, there are formulas, so don't have to worry about that. Right. So sample size and sampling error. That's the relation. If this guy is increasing, this guy is decreasing. They have opposite relation. Okay. So that's what they have mentioned. Sample means we denote by simply x bar. Okay. Here also we denote by x bar. Okay. Sample means, because we don't consider mean of sample one by one. Just consider they as a one. So large sample size, error tend to be in the estimate population is decreasing. Smaller the error. Okay. Clear? Now, mean and standard deviation of what? This one. Mean and standard deviation of sample means. So what is sample mean? We denote this by x bar. Remember? See, sample mean we denote by x bar. Okay. So now sample means mean x bar. Okay. So we need to find the mean of x bar, standard deviation of x bar. There is a very easy relationship between the population mean and sample mean of the sample mean, because they are equal. Mean of the sample and population mean. Sorry, mean of the sample mean and population mean. They are same. This mean of the sample mean we denote mu, but not exactly mu. Mu of what? Mu of sample means. Do you remember? For sample means we denote x bar. So mu of mu sub x bar, which means mu of x bars, sample means. So this is the relation. This is the sample mean of the sample mean. This is the mean of the sample mean. And this one is the population mean, or actual mean. Let me call this actual mean. Or actual mean. Clear? So it's very easy relation. Now, next one. Standard deviation of the sample mean. We denote this by sigma, but not just sigma, sigma of x bar. Okay, sigma of x bar. This is a little bit different. You need that sample standard deviation that divide by square root of number of samples, or number of sample size. For this case, please don't think about too much. We will be, you don't have, but we have some formulas or methods to find the sigma. Okay. But here we consider like a summary. Like you will see in the next few examples what is this sigma and this n. Okay. So anyway, if you need to find the standard deviation of the sample mean, which means sigma x bar, you have to use this one. Okay. This n is the sample size, sigma is the standard deviation that belongs to variable. Okay, right. Let's go to few examples. Check this example. Find the mean of the sample means. Okay, find the mean of the sample means. This is what you need to find. When population mean, they are given. I mean, population mean and standard deviation are given. This is mu, and this guy is the sigma. And you are having sample with the sample size is 2. Sample size is 2. So what is the mean of the sample means? What's the symbol of that? Mu x bar. So what is this? It is easy. This one. So what is the value? It is mu, which means 80. This one right here, see? They are same. They are same. Let me erase this. Remember that population mean or actual mean and mean of the sample means they are same. They are same. Okay. Clear? Right. What about here? Sorry, it doesn't matter about the sample size. It doesn't matter about the sample size. They are same. Regardless of their sample sizes, they are same. Okay. Again, find the mean of the sample mean when sample size is this much. So what is the value? Again, what? Mu, which means 80. Why? Regardless of the sample sizes, population mean or actual mean equals to mean of the sample means, which means mu x bar. Okay, remember that relationship. Okay, you don't have to worry about the sample size if you need to find the mean. Always it is. Next one. Okay, another example. Mean living family, this home, this much. Standard deviation, this much. So this is what? This is mu, and this is sigma, because that's the problem, right? So in the problem they have mentioned this is this much and this is this much. Number one, sorry, part A. For sample of this much means your simple n. Okay. Now sample of 25. This is your simple n. Number of samples. I mean sample size. Determine the mean and standard deviation of x bar. So mean and standard deviation of x bar mean what? This means mu x bar. This means sigma x bar. Okay. See, they have mentioned it here. So this is what? This equals to mu. You don't have to worry about that. Simply, it equals to mu, which means how much? This much. 1742. Okay. This one, sigma or standard deviation of the sample means. To do it, what you have to do? Sigma divided by square root of n. Remember that? This one, this slide. Okay. Which means simply you can plug these two values. You know them already. 1742 divided by square root of 568. I don't know the value, but simply you can calculate the value. Okay. Sample, sorry, standard deviation of the sample means not equal to population standard deviation. Okay. That equals this one, sigma over square root of n. Okay. Right. Part B, repeat the same thing with n equals 500. So what happened to this guy? Mu x, mu x bar. As it has nothing to do with 500. Okay, it is just remain same 1742. It has nothing to do with sample size. But this guy, standard deviation, yes, it has to do something, which means this one. So you can see sigma, it is same. Oh, sorry. Did I? Sorry. Sorry, I did a mistake. When I plug these values, I just sorry. This is sigma, which means 568. Okay, I'm so sorry. Divide by square root of n. What is n? 25. Okay, clear? Sorry about that. Okay, so you have to divide 568 by 5. Okay, same here. Sigma doesn't change. It is 568. Now what is n? N is, see, 500. So square root of 500. When you compare these two, if you compare these two values, you will see that difference between those two values, right? Definitely, first standard deviation is much more greater than second one, right? So this is the note. Standard error of the sample means decreases as sample size increases. The reason is it is sigma over square root of n. When this guy increases, everything goes down. This calculation, the value goes down, right? Denominator is increasing, so this whole thing goes down, right? Clear? Okay. So when you increase, if you increase the sample size, error goes down. In other words, standard deviation goes down. Okay, right? Okay, I'll think. Yes, let me do this one. This is just a summary what we have talked about. Larger sample size, smaller standard deviation, which means n goes up, sigma x bar goes down, right? Smaller the standard deviation of x bar, more close to the value. Yes. When sigma x bar is going down, then we can come closer and closer to actual mean. Okay, actual mean, that cluster around the mean x bar, more closer to possible value of x bar. The mean of x bar equals to the population mean. Mean of x bar mean mu x bar, right? This means mu x bar equals to the population mean, which is mu. So you saw this relation, right? So this standard deviation we call the standard error. Standard error, do you remember that? Error between the actual one and the sample case. This one. So standard deviation of a statistics used to estimate this parameter standard error, which means this one, sigma x bar. Okay, to calculate the standard error. Clear? Oh, sorry. Any questions? This chapter is like, yes, very a small chapter. There are few slides left, but it is something. Okay, if you get a question like this, mean of the sample means, don't consider it just as a mean. Okay, it is something else. Okay, clear? Right. This part I'll do next time. Okay, any questions? If you need to check your exam answers, you can come to my office hours, okay? Because I'm not going to open it, okay? Because there are few students, they need to do the exam because of the valid reasons. So I cannot open it to that means I think you can see the exam, right? Can you? No? Good. If you can see that, then that's a problem. If you need, I mean, if you have any problems about the answers, whatever, you can come to my office hours and I'll show you your exam. Okay. So anyway, in average, you guys have done really good job in the exam, mid exam too. Okay, I saw the curves. It's like, although it's decreasing, it's like something like stable. Okay, so keep your good work up so you can get a good grade at the end of this semester. Okay. Okay, guys, that's it for today. I'll see you on Wednesday. And as I promised you, Wednesday or Friday, I'll give you a quiz. Okay, I'm not going to tell you when, but definitely Wednesday or Friday. You don't need to scare. Okay. Right. Just one. Just one, yeah.